Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, the light of day.
I'm gonna cock my 90, motherfucker. I'm gonna cock my 90.
All right. What is going on? What's good, everyone? I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope it's been a good Friday for you guys as well. Know what I'm saying? Today is Friday, May 19th, 2023. And we had Powell speak this morning. I thought it was at 11. It was actually at 10. So I would have woken up earlier if I knew it was at 10 instead of 11. So that's kind of fucked. But what are you going to do? Forex factor on my phone is off by an hour. I don't understand that. And Naruto, it's just a non-copyright mix from 2023, and that's at like the 104-minute marker. So I don't know. There's a track list, but I don't know which order it goes in. So I don't know. I can't help you. Let me see if I can link it. There's a link to the music. There's also some Spotify playlists in the description for you guys as well. There should be a... Let me take a look. Then there's a Not Safe for Work Metal playlist, which I love that shit. There's a copyright-free EDM music, drum and bass favorites, and then a Not Safe for Work Metal. And then, of course, below that, you can get all of the links to the notebooks, gaming glasses, the portable ice bath, the Memento Mori coin, letters from a Stoic, meditations, and my camera, the Rebel T7, the microphone, and whatever else. Or if you just want to hop on Amazon, you can use my Amazon link as well. Maybe you don't want the shit that I recommend, but if you're going to shop on Amazon, you can use my link to also help support the channel at no additional cost to you. All right, no additional cost to you, but it helps me out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But you guys already know trading involves risk, right? Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. I'm not a financial advisor, all that good shit. Okay, make sure to read your risk disclaimers. So what we have in store for today, honestly, I don't know. It's Friday. We've had a pretty bullish week. There are some highs that haven't been taken, and this is our afternoon session. Okay, so if it was up to me, if I had a say in the matter, I think 42.26 is a possibility for today. I think it's a possibility. So, you know, as always, guys, like Friday is typically my worst day. Doesn't mean we can't find stuff, but it's just performance-wise, Friday is my worst day. So, you know, there is a disparity here on a 5-minute chart at the lows for the S&P. We have a higher low on the S&P, and we have a lower low here on the Dow Jones. So if the Dow's making a lower low while the S&P is making a higher low, this could be potential accumulation. So that would make sense if this ends up being, well, technically it would be this. If this is our low of the day, proof of accumulation, target some equal highs, maybe even the current high of the day. Maybe. So it would be about 20 points upside potential. So that's kind of what I'm looking for if I had to look for something. All right. What's good, Miguel, Naruto, Andreas, Nick? What up? What up? Hope you guys are doing blessed. We only got 12 people here and only 4 likes. What's up with that? What's up with that shit? What is up with that? I think Friday's typically our lowest viewers day, our lowest view count as well. So, worst performing day, lowest view count on Philosophical Fridays. So maybe that's why we are going to switch over to Philosophical Fridays instead of live analysis Fridays. So, about to see. What I am also watching right now, I think it looks kind of sloppy right here in the afternoon, but this could be a potential mitigation play. I was trying to see, but we haven't really left this area. We haven't really left, you know, with a strong conviction to the upside, and it doesn't look all that glorious here. There's really not like any imbalance on, at least on a 5-minute, that's forming through that. You know what I mean? So the 5-minute doesn't really look all that great, and the 1-minute isn't really creating any imbalances within here. So I don't think we're going to be able to get that overlap of imbalance and mitigation. You know what I mean? So I think it's hard to say. The Dow, I don't know. It is hard to say. You'd have this run here, and that's the prior up candle there. But over here looks kind of doo-doo. So, again, I think it's a little bit hard to say. SPY on the 1-minute looks pretty much the same, and SPY has the same highs up at 420. We were looking for that 420 level for a while. You guys remember that? I don't know if Willow is here. We were talking about that 420 level for a while. We finally got that. So that's also interesting. So if you were following along for the last 3 to 4 months or so, that 420 level has finally been tagged. So that's always nice. That is always nice. So let's talk about the dollar and the euro for just a minute. The markups, I don't know why they're gone, but there's two levels I was watching. So you have a weekly imbalance, okay? Right here. Beautiful. But if you go down to the daily, you also have a daily right above it. So we are reacting to both. So the daily is reacting from the daily imbalance, but the current weekly close is responding well from the weekly imbalance. You see that? See how we dug into that, but now the body is lower. So if we start looking at smaller time frames, we have some lows at 102.76. 102.76 for the dollar. In the inversion, typical inversion of that is the euro, which has some clean highs at 108.50. So I did tell my team earlier to watch for 108.50 today, but that was prior to the Powell, like that was during the Powell speech, but that was me tweeting, I think at like 10:30 or 10:40 something, that I was telling my team. So we had already had the volatility from that. So I don't know if we're gonna run up into there today. It's asking for another 30 pips on the euro. So I don't know. I don't think so. So I think I goofed up on the timing of that, but just, you know, there's a little bit of analysis for you, starting with the dollar and then going into currencies. And so if the dollar does happen to be bearish today, right, and you can clearly see the daily imbalance up here and then the overall weekly, right? So we're trading lower coming off of that. So if the dollar happens to continue lower, then from an intermarket perspective, that may also send equities higher. So it just depends. But, you know, as always, when we're here live and doing analysis, we can outline things right before they happen. But if we outline something and we don't get it, then there's no trade to be taken. Okay. So like right now, as this was forming, I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, this may set up a mitigation. And now I'm watching it here at the start of the afternoon session, the first 11, 12 minutes, and it hasn't really done that. Like it hasn't really set up that way. The Dow, maybe it would take a short-term low, run into this potentially, and that 5-minute does have a imbalance as well right here. So I mean, we'll see if that gets respected, but given the S&P, I'm not sure if I'm entirely digging this. I mean, you could say that this fractal high was traded above. So I mean, you could say that this is a break of structure to the upside, but I don't know. I mean, I'll leave that up to you, but I'm not entirely confident with taking a long here. 33.5 as well. So you'd have a 50 level or a 500 level, if you will, right in there. So I mean, it's possible. It's possible that we could see something there, but I think if we had left highs here, like if we didn't run that high there on E-mini and then the micros as well, slightly higher there, if that ended up being equal or a lower high, I would feel a lot confident with this long here. Does that make sense? You're in shorts right now on Nasdaq. Oh, nice. The Nasdaq was doo-doo today. I mean, this looks terrible. This looks awful. It's just like very back and forth, very give and take for the Nasdaq. But let me tell you what I was trying to do earlier, bro. This was some shit, man, and I definitely fucked that up. But there was equal highs left open, but we also had lows. Okay, so when we saw, I think it was a 5 minute. When we saw this candle here at 10:05, okay, once we got that run away down towards 42.12, I was trying to look for shorts because on a 5 minute, I'm like, oh well, there's like an imbalance right here. You know, if this candle closes and then runs up, I'll short that. But it ended up running the lows before doing that, so I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna do anything with that. And I looked at a 2 minute, and that's what I had marked up here just a second ago. You see that right there. So, I mean, that would have been okay, but you would have had to short with the understanding that, yeah, there are equal highs up here. So, you know, it's just a matter of preference at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's always up to you. I think I like the idea of longs in here, but I would need to have like I would demand a lot is what I'm saying. Like I would have very little patience. Like if it starts to trade below the imbalance and closes below the imbalance, like I wouldn't hold it. I would just take a partial loss. You know what I mean? Like, let's say hypothetically, 33.5, stop at the bottom of this down candle here, aiming for like a new high. First of all, that's a lot for Friday. But given the 1 to 3, it had to be something like that, unless we really tighten the stop. I mean, I guess you could. Like if you just aim for this morning's high, a 1 to 3 would have to be right there. So something like that I could see, right? And if it comes down here, but if a 5 minute candle starts to close below this imbalance here, I wouldn't hold on to it, and I would end up taking a partial loss. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Also, if the S&P is the one under accumulation, I would want the setup to be on S&P, not on the Dow. So it has traded like through this high and back into it, but to me, I need like a more convincing move than just that. Like that's not very convincing. I'm not convinced. Like that is technically a higher high. Like that is by definition a breakup structure to the upside, but it's not giving me super bullish vibes. I would have wanted like a much higher close, and that would have been better, in my opinion. In my personal opinion. Was about to ask about that. Okay. And then it also looks like the Dow just created short-term lows as well on the 1 minute time frame. So it would make sense to maybe rally it a little bit, and then anyone who's been long, they're going to jam their stop up. Market comes down, get them out. Get traders out, get shorts in, mitigate any shorts on the day from this morning, rebounds price, and then send that shit higher. You know what I mean? Like send that bitch higher. So create short-term lows, rallied a little bit, get people thinking it's bullish, and then come back for the stops and then run it. Is what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not a market maker. I don't talk to them. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm not the one who I'm not the puppet master, okay? I just try to see what the puppet masters are going to do. And I think I'm done watching NASDAQ for today because it looks like absolute doo-doo. It looks like absolute doo-doo. So if there was 2 things I would watch today, 3 things, it would be S&P, Dow, and the Euro. Okay. And same idea for Euro, like equal lows here. So anyone who's been long from the Powell speech or prior, if they're jamming their stop up here, you know, price is being held here. Okay. It hasn't gone anywhere for 2 hours. So, you know, people like me who are impatient, I'm not the only impatient person on this planet. Okay. A lot of people end up, you know, jamming their stop close to the market. So I feel like it would easily be able to come back for that. And longs would be frustrated because it's like, okay, well, you know, if we're long, like, let's go. Let's see price rally. And it's almost forming like a flag right now. So if that's the case, I would want to see them run it lower. But as always, here in the afternoon session on this YouTube channel, a lot of the, I wouldn't say issue, but a lot of what happens is the time constraint, right? Just like silver last week with the metals, you know, we were looking for shorts and they gave us a little bit, but they didn't do a whole lot, right? Because it's Friday, it's the last couple of hours of the week, and a lot of the times you just won't see really big moves. So, you know, we may end up seeing something like that today or the Euro. All right, but we'll have to wait and see. But I would like to see some volatility, but there's a good chance that we won't get volatility. So what I would do, if you want to, you know, we do this all the time, like before and after. So if you want to take a screenshot of the trading view, I would do that. And then we'll, you know, have to revisit that at the close of the day to see what actually took place. But since it's live analysis, I would want to give you my thought process as if it were a trade that we took. Okay, like if I, like the mindset is, okay, we can take this on a paper account, right? And we could manage it as if it was something that we were trading for real. You know, like that's the idea. So live analysis, trade management ideas. Okay. And then if you ever get to wondering about, you know, if you're scared to take a full loss, okay, you shouldn't be. Okay, a lot of the times I don't take a full loss. Not in one trade at least, okay? Like if this is our setup, if this is our 1 to 3, okay? But the market, let's just say it gets us in and then it starts to not go our direction and it proves that we may not be bullish, then we can exit the trade or trade idea before the stop loss gets hit. Okay, I actually did that, I think yesterday or the day before, because I knew, like when I shorted and it was going against me, you know, given the price action I was watching it, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm wrong. So it's okay to be wrong, just don't stay wrong, because that's where traders get fucked up, is they stay wrong. And when you're trading on margin, staying wrong is exponentially worse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's amplified now. So you went from having a cut on your face to now having your face ripped off completely. You know, now you're in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Like, you don't want that. Okay, you don't want that. So, outside of what we just discussed on the indices and dollar and the euro, if you guys want me to look at anything else, we can. But that is probably... I'm going to take that off so we can actually watch it. That'll probably be everything that I have for you. So the chat today also is membership only. So we usually get less viewers and less interaction when it's members only. But for those of you that were there last night for the Marcu review, did you guys have a good time yesterday? Did you guys enjoy yesterday's discussion? Wasn't really a presentation or per se, but did you guys learn anything yesterday? Let me know. Let me know. Man, the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar both rattling today. New Zealand's actually up over 1%, so, and Aussie's up like 0.6%. When was it? Someone was looking for shorts the other day, and it made a new intra-week low yesterday. So study that as well. What's our low? The low of the week is on Thursday. So study that too. Oh, that is another phenomenon for today as well. For the indices, let me look at one thing real quick. Oh, I got too many markups over here. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So our low of the week is Tuesday. Our current high of the week is Friday. So study that as well. It was a bullish week and the low was created on Tuesday. Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. The review of mitigation model, and I like the JP Morgan talk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Knowing how far a low might be ran or a high, might be ran. Like even this, for an example, like if we were on a super small time frame trying to short for the equal lows. Okay, not that I would have done that, but there's like a gap right there. And so now we're trading and the lows are now being met into, and we traded into all three. Below the lows, hit the imbalance and the mitigation. So that's like the earliest entry, in my opinion, because we put a hypothetical one at 33.5. But the earliest available one is the overlap of the three, or the two rather, of the imbalance on the 5 minute and the 1 minute up candle here. So like technically the earliest available entry would be right there. Okay, but anytime there's a 50 level or a 20 level or something like that, that's when I usually try to do it. So like 33.5 would be where I'd want to have an entry at if it was me. So what we can do is just draw 33.5. I'll just put a blue line on that just to see. You know what I mean? Just to see how it goes. And the British pound looks pretty rough as well. Yikes. Let me see. Gold and silver. Thursday, low of the week. Friday, a reversal day. So gold is up 1%. Silver's up 1.6%. So do you remember what I told you yesterday? When we took those lows, I was like, oh, we may start looking for longs. And then bam, today's an up day. Like, how difficult was that? How difficult was that? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were down days. Friday setting us an up day. So, you know, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And that is a common phenomenon. Friday being a reversal day after a down week. But I think the price action on silver looked better than gold, to be honest. But anyways, I don't want to try and fucking watch everything today. I don't want to try and do that. And I think we just created equal lows on the S&P. So I would still not want to be long yet on S&P. If you look at a 5-minute time frame, or 5 minute, 1 minute, either way, they're both equal lows that it looks like it's fixing to run them, I guess. If the S&P goes down to 4194, then I would be done for today and just fucking go to Total Wine, grab a cigar, grab a bottle of whiskey, and that'll be it. You know what I mean? It was good to cover those things: mitigation, relative strength and balance, below liquidity and depth. What a wicked day. Caught New Zealand all the way up and now on the way down. Lewis playing ping pong with the markets today. Ping pong in the markets. Lewis. Very nice. Is dabbing still cool? I don't know if that's a question or a statement. Lewis wants permission to dab for... Dabbing is in smoking, or dabbing is in like a Fortnite dance? What are we talking about here, Lewis? What are we talking about? What's going on here? Let me know. Let me know. I feel like this hoodie actually looks pretty good on camera. It doesn't look as good in person, but it looks way better on camera. And I got the NASA hat to match. So we're in there today. You know what I mean? We're in there. Trying to swag out. Change my name to Rizanachi. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. Oh, the thing with the arms, got to flex that ping pong. I'm 35, bro. Even if it was cool, I'm not sure if it's cool for 35-year-olds. Well, I'll be 30 in like 5 or 6 months. We're dinosaurs now, man. We're dinosaurs. We can't keep up with these cool kids anymore. My lower back is like 89. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's probably because I sit in my chair, like slouch all day. Probably why. So that probably doesn't help at all. That's why I try to go outside and, you know, walk and stuff like that. But the time I spend walking and exercising does not outweigh the time of me sitting in my chair like a drunk guy all day. So we got to see. We have to get a chiropractor up in this bitch. Chop my back up. That was a problem in the Navy. We had a chiropractor, right? We had a chiropractor that worked at NMCP, Navy Medical Center, Portsmouth. Pretty big hospital. I mean, they had their own parking garage and, I mean, huge place. They had a food court in there. Oh my God, I was in there all the time. Because they had Panda Express, Subway, and I think a Chinese or a sushi place, something like that. But anyway, so the hospital, I mean, the staff alone is a couple thousand people. And you can imagine if there's a few thousand staff, how many patients there are. You know, I mean, hundreds coming in like all the time, all day, every day, right? So imagine the numbers like that. And you know how many chiropractors we had? You know how many chiropractors we had? I think I told you guys this before. Take a guess. With hundreds of patients and with at least 1,000 or more staff, how many chiropractors do you think we had? NASDAQ shorts break even, done for the day. Norfolk, Virginia, and Baltimore ports when I was in. Oh, nice. Some of the guys on my ship had guns pulled on them at Macy's outside of the base. Oh, man. You don't want to know what I would have done. I'd have been like, don't fucking point that gun at me, you stupid bitch. I would have said some shit. I hate it. Dude, I've had a disdain for police for a long time. And military police are even worse. It's all the guys who got bullied and women who got bullied when they were a kid. They all became cops and now they just are rude as fuck to everybody. I hated them. I was made fun of them too. So for all those people, right? For all the sailors, hospital, staff, patients, whatever, all that, we had one chiropractor. So now, mind you, the first time that I went to him, it took like a week to set up the appointment, or like the appointment was for like a week out. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because it's like the first appointment or whatever. So, you know, I get there, cracks my back or whatever, you know, it only took a few minutes. And then I'm like, this is awesome. I need this like, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it was him or the receptionist or whatever. They were just like, oh, well, the next appointment's not for like a week or 2 out. I'm like, a week or 2 out? I'm like, dude, I need this shit done like it's Monday. I'm like, I need to be here on Wednesday. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but we've only got, you know, he's our only chiropractor or whatever. I'm like, dude, well, whoever whoever has the job of staffing your hospital is an idiot. And you need to fire them. Get them the fuck out of here. Jesse, welcome to tier 1, Browski. Welcome to the channel. The Smart Money Stoics channel. I might end up changing the name. I might end up changing the name because we want to be smart and some of us want to be stoic as well. I mean, so there's 33.5 and that is likely a run on the S&P as well. Yep. So the lows on S&P. So let's see what we do from here. NASDAQ looks like hot dog water. We're going to leave that alone. And so, yeah, I mean, like if you look at the S&P, there's not a lot that's below it. On a 5-minute chart, I mean, I guess you could maybe say that there's an imbalance there. I mean, hell, even E-mini looks like nonsense to me. It doesn't look good. I mean, it can still work, but it doesn't look great. Oh, that's a decent reaction though. On that 5-minute close. I'll have to see where the next couple candles close though. So remember, where the bodies are at, I wouldn't want to see the bodies trade below the low end of this imbalance, like 33,490. I wouldn't want a close below that, is what I'm saying. Okay. So if we are bullish, like, I mean, if S&P and Dow is bullish for the afternoon, then we should start seeing some higher pricing. It's 12:40, so we're coming up in the last tail end of this hour here. So let's see what takes place. But we've consolidated a lot here in the afternoon. It's not always fun. Not always fun. Let's see. Dollar sliding a little bit lower, which means, let's see if the euro is also sliding higher. British pound is not really doing a whole lot. Not really doing a whole lot. So for those of you that follow the alerts and whatnot, I do have an alert at 108.50 for the euro. If you missed it here earlier, I think it was 102.77. No, 102.76 for the dollar index. And the S&P, I don't know if we're going to get there today, but 42.26 is some short-term equal highs. Because again, it is Friday, so the movements that we get in the afternoon may not be as explosive as it was this morning. Because if you think about it, all right, think about this logic for a second. Think about this logic for a second. The movement that we got from Powell's speech, okay? If we highlight 10, I mean, I guess 10 to 11. Let's just say 10 to 11, okay? So look at that movement here. And I mean, you can measure it if you want to, however many points that is, okay? You can measure that, right? So if we were longing here, and this is why I'm telling you that my trade management would be aggressive here is because what you're asking for, or what technically I'm asking for, is that the market would have to rally, okay, all the way past the volatility that we got from Powell's speech. So that is asking for a lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that looks terrible. So to be able to get price to push past Powell's speech volatility and, range essentially on a Friday when the market has been bullish the last couple days, do you see why that would probably be very hard to do? Ain't no way. What's ain't no way? Jesse's happy to be here. Very nice. So we got to the low end of the imbalance here. Let me pull up S&P. S&P. Yuck. It doesn't look like the S&P is following suit with that idea. So if our current oh shit, well, that's a 15-minute candle as well. So we just closed a 15-minute candle and we've just opened a new 15-minute candle. I think you could argue that this could be an imbalance as well, but I don't know. I'd rather go with the higher one today versus the lower. Because again, I think we're asking for a lot. I think today's move was the Powell speech. So if there wasn't anything, like if you weren't able to get short on this, it's not, I don't think we're going to reciprocate that move for this afternoon, is what I'm saying. And the only reason that we may have set a low is just that divergence here between Dow trading lower and the S&P trading higher. And that, I think it's like, that's a great tool. It's one of my favorite tools, but that alone is not just going to mean that we've made our low of the day. Like, just because we diverged here, that doesn't necessarily mean that we've made our low of the day. So initially, okay, we've traded into that and we saw a little bit of movement, but it needs to like explode higher. And if it doesn't do that, then I'm wrong on that assumption. Okay. It means I am wrong on that assumption. Oh, your story about the one chiropractor. Yeah. One guy, bro. One fucking guy. So I'm like, bro, this is stupid. So then me, and being the type of person that I am, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll schedule my own chiropractor, so I won't go to the military one. I'll go to a civilian one. And then my people were like, okay, you can do that, but it has to be after working hours. I'm like, you fucking people, man, are ridiculous. Y'all don't let me have shit. So I ended up just not going at all, like, to any chiropractor, and just stayed with the back problems and left that alone. And then left it alone. So Anyway, back to being a little bit more serious. I don't think this looks good for longs. I don't think it looks good. Oh, there's a little gap right there too. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yeah. See, same thing on the 5-minute with the S&P. It's trading lower. Very little to no reaction off the equal lows. And then, as I said this whole time, there's no imbalance below the lows. There's like nothing within that 1 minute, even the 5-minute, that is convincing enough for me to long here. The movement that we got leading into the afternoon session was not convincing. Okay, I did say that earlier as well. Like, technically that was a higher high, but it wasn't convincing enough for me. And that's why when I taught you guys the model, the mitigation model, that the move needs to have conviction and it needs to be obvious. You cannot force a setup. Okay. And now that last candle, it closed below that imbalance. So to me, like, I wouldn't hold on to this long, and I wouldn't wait for it to trade lower to hit the stop either. Now, if you're someone who might, you might have thought this imbalance instead. I mean, you could go with that if you want, but I'm not feeling it. So back to what I was saying earlier, if we longed at 33.5 and our stop was down here, I think we changed it. I don't remember what it ended up being after the frame to 1 to 3. But let's say you took let's say from here to here was a full 1%. Okay. It's dancing around, right? Kind of near your entry. I mean, it is technically in drawdown, but half of this, okay, would be 0.5%. Or right now it'd be like 0.25%. So like 0.25. Okay. So if you're not comfortable with holding because you think you might be wrong, then you could just say, all right, cool, 0.25. I'll just take that instead. So that frees up, right? Like let's just say we did that. All right, cool. We risked our 1%, but we're just going to take the 0.25% and leave it at that. So what that does to me, and now I'm going to delete everything because we got a lot of drawings on here. That to me now, okay, if you took that 0.25% as an L, you still have a 0.75% left in that original risk. So that 0.75 you could put on something else if you wanted to. Does that make sense? So it's okay to admit that you're wrong. It's like, oh shit, well, I thought this, but no, it doesn't look good. So I'll just take an early L, the smaller one, and leave the remainder of the original risk for something else. See what I'm saying? Like that, to me, I wish I would have learned shit like that before just entering, having the stop, and then just not managing at all. I mean, I literally watched trades go against me and against me and against me, and then eventually taking the full loss. And then I learned, like, oh, well, why not just cut it here and then save the rest of it? It doesn't make sense. So that's a lot of what I do now. So it's just an idea. You don't have to adopt it. if that's not something that you think is good, but hey, I'll take a small loss over a big loss or even a normal loss anytime. Anytime. And we do have a higher high on euro and a lower high on British pound. And it's already almost 1 o'clock. So just like always, guys, the less time or the more time we spend not going to where we think it's going to go on a Friday at the end of the day, the less likely it's going to work. So I think, you know, time stops are a real thing. Damn. $10. Interesting day. And as a moderator, I need to figure out what YouTube moderators can do. I feel like we might need a moderator eventually. I'm gonna look into that pretty soon. And I want to see if there's a way to change your name because like everybody's green, which is cool. But is that like interchangeable? I have no idea. We ended up getting on YouTube, and I don't know like half the shit that you can do. Don't know. Do not know. But with the you know what? There was let me look at this back office real quick. There was actually a member that joined right before we got off yesterday. Like literally I'm pressing the button to exit the OBS and everything or to stop the stream and it had said somebody joined. I think I mentioned him though. I think it was Jose. And then Jesse today. So I think that puts us at 37 or 38 members for the channel. Because it's not going to update for like a day or two. Which is bullshit. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube lags that much. But yeah, it's either 36 or 37 members. So that's pretty cool. Our current goal right now is 50. Our current goal is 50. So we are definitely on the way. Only members are green? Well, yeah. But I'm saying when we open the chat back up on Monday and everybody can comment, I was trying to see if there was a way where I could change it to like blue or yellow or maybe rainbow. Like it'll be scattered out like differently, because that's how Twitch is. Like when I hop on Twitch, the chat, like the names are all different colors. But here it's only green. So your sniper changes colors, but the chat stays green. And I didn't know if I could change that or not. So yep, melted through that first imbalance, melting through this second one. See what I mean? It's not looking good. So then I used to watch myself go, oh yeah, well I fucking bought it up here and now it's just going against me. When we could have just hopped out as soon as we saw that it wasn't doing what we thought it was going to do. So it's okay to take losses. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but you trying to hold on and hope, like, the market doesn't work on hope, bro. The algorithm's not gonna fucking, little Johnny from down the street is hoping that I don't, reprice to where his stop loss is at. Like, think about that logic for a minute. The market doesn't care. The market does not care. The market is designed that way. It's designed to go, where's everyone stops at? That's where I'm going to reprice to. In between that is going to be imbalances, to offer price, you know what I mean? Delivery. But it's gonna jam to where the stops are at. So right now, stops are probably at this low. Because if anyone who longed up here, they're in drawdown, the market starts to go their way a little bit, and then now they're further in drawdown, so they're clenching their ass cheeks right now. And like what we did, say we tried to go long because maybe we tried to pick the bottom or something like that. I feel like the people who are trying to long, they're going to have stops here. Anyone who may think that is short, like the day is going to short, retrace, and then continue lower, okay, that's fine too. They're going to have sell stops here. So to me, it makes sense logically that there's going to be liquidity here. You know what I mean? Like at that low and below it. So it would make sense for us to trade lower. If there is one, this I think is going to be a long shot, but I'll tell you. I told my team this earlier. Again, I think this is a very, very long shot. But if you want to put an alert at, this probably won't be for today. 4164.75. 4164.75 for the S&P. Now, if we start ramping up lower, like if we start printing fat candles lower, I think that could be a possibility, but it's a long shot. Because again, we would pretty much have to replicate the Powell speech volatility plus like a little bit more to get there. And I'll let you figure out what that is. 4164.75 for the S&P. And what that would do for the, let me see. That actually would, that may or may not put us below that low for the Dow at 20 or at 33,280. So let's see. But this whole hour, Give me a minute. We've had a range of like 12 points for the S&P. So I mean, it's been moving a little bit, but not like this morning. So 4164.75 would be, dude, that's like 34 points to the downside. It would have to go. Yeah. So if you were to see this other chart I have over here, we have highs at 42.26 and then we have lows at 41.64, and price right now is almost in the middle of both. So that's hard to say, but put an alert there anyway. Okay, that would be here. That would be down here for the S&P. Okay, but I will say this one more time just to make sure that we get it on record. I think that is a long shot for today. 41.65. I think that's a long shot, but I don't think it's off the table. Can you see the speeches live somewhere? Yeah, there's a way to watch them. But when I looked today, because I looked last night on my phone and I forget that my phone, for whatever reason, it might be because I use a VPN on my phone, but I thought the speech was at 11 my time. It was at 10 my time. So I'm searching up like Powell live speech and he's not even live. So I'm like, why can't I fucking find it? And then that's when I found out like all the recordings were posted 30 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I went to my Forex factory here on my computer and it was like, yeah, the speech was at 10. I'm like, oh, I got the wrong time. I got the wrong time. So great. Great, great, great. But I'm thinking we did a giveaway at a certain number of subs. I think it was at 5K. When we got to 5K subs here, I did a 3-part giveaway. I think that was the journal, the books, and something else. I think the third one was a copy of Meditations, which I don't think they ever got. So, because the third, I don't think the winner of the number 1 and number 2, they got their shit. But the person who won the third thing, they never reached out to me. So, GG in the chat. But the next giveaway, I think we should do after a certain number of members. But I have to be careful though, because I think I read the YouTube stuff, and YouTube, they don't allow giveaways for members specifically. I think that goes against their guideline. So I'm not allowed to say, hey, I'm going to do a giveaway of whatever, but only for members. Like, I don't think they let you do that. But I could see why. Because you would basically be running an illegal giveaway ring. Because, like, if you think about it, there are people out there who do this kind of shit. Let's say they go buy a PS5. This was a long time ago, like when the PlayStations were, it was very hard to find. What these guys would do is they would say, all right, I'm going to give away this PlayStation right? Now, mind you, let's say they paid like 600 for it. What they would do is they would sell, let's say, 50 tickets at like $20 a piece or something. I don't know what the math on that is. Let me see. Yeah, that's what they would do. So they would sell, they would try and get 50 people to pay $20, right? To say, hey, I'm going to raffle off this PlayStation. But so they're going to make $1,000. Now, mind you, they paid, let's say 600 or even 700 for the PlayStation. That means they're going to give away a PlayStation, but they still profit like $400. You know? And that, I think, is why you can't do that for members only. Because what if YouTubers did that and they were like, oh, I'm going to give away, let's just say $1,000, but we got to have 200 members or 300 members, right? And then it's like, okay, so you get 300 members at whatever price, and you make, let's say, $2,500, and you give away 1,000. Okay, well, it makes you look cool because you gave away $1,000, and you profit obviously, but then a lot of people are left with like nothing. It's like, oh, I paid $5 for a chance to get 1,000, but I never got it. So I think that's why they don't allow that. So if we end up doing another giveaway, which we will, there's gonna be a lot of giveaways on this fucking channel, just so you know. There's a lot of things that I was not able to do previously, okay? But on here, like, I want to bring more guests on. I haven't brought on a guest in a while, but I want to bring on more guests, and I want to do more giveaways. I want to give shit away. Books, mainly. I want to give away, like, office shit, like notebooks and binders, maybe, so you could print charts off, stuff like that. Meditations, that's easy because it's only like an $8 book, so I can give away that all fucking left and right and other stuff. I mean, I don't even know what you guys want. NASDAQ have to break even at 13. Now we're looking at something bearish, crazy. What I think about NASDAQ is what I was watching a minute ago was these highs right here. And I wanted to see if these were equal lows, but they're not. But yeah, this looks terrible. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of give and take. And I don't like being in a market like that. No, sir. No, ma'am. I do not like that. But let me ask you guys this. What do you want for a giveaway? What do you think you guys want? Now don't say no fucking Lamborghini or a house or no shit. Like, come on. You want a pair of shoes, you want journals, gaming headsets, gaming mouse. After a certain point, we could probably do a gaming laptop, but there's levels to this shit. Rolling trays, gaming glasses, the hat, the bucket hat, the camo bucket hat, the NASA hat. I mean, whatever. It could be merch. When is the sniper merch coming? Well, here's the thing. So, number one, I had my store connected to YouTube, and then after like a couple of days, they said, fuck it, and they blocked it. So I'm like, okay, that's great. So with the store being blocked, there was no way for me to sell merch. So I ended up canceling that store. But after a certain point, I'll open up the store again. But yeah, we can do merch like with the snipers and stuff on it. But hold on. We can do merch with stuff on it, but the one with the golden sniper, that's not going to be available till at least a year. Bronze is brand new. Silver is after 1 month. I think blue, it's either blue or red is next. And I think you got to be red for like 6 months before you get the gold one. But we could do something like that at a certain point. So we could do it. Trading View subscription. The Build-A-Bear. Holy shit. We could definitely do that. Oh my god. You know what? Now that I think about, let me go to their website real quick. I don't even know what it is. Because you know what? They have a camo bear. Don't ask me how I know that. Maybe I don't know that. Maybe I'm just guessing. Maybe I'm just guessing. Let me see. Because the camo one would be super sick. And if they, I mean, I doubt it. Here's the thing. So Build-A-Bear only has like certain shit. But what's really cool is Etsy does custom stuff. So if I wanted a custom bucket hat for the Build-A-Bear, it can be done. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that. Imagine a bear, or even like a bear with a camo shirt and a bucket hat and some sort of sniper in his hand. Oh my god. That would be fucking legit. That would be super sexy. All right. So real quick, coming back to the lesson. We talked about how we want to see price turn here. And if it doesn't, we're wrong, right? So some people wouldn't have taken that. Like, oh, I don't want to take a partial loss. It might come back. Well, now look how close it is to your stop. You're pretty much stopped out now. So now, again, the argument of you want to hold on to a full loss, whereas we would have taken a 0.25% loss. So your loss is 4 times as bigger than the ones that we took. And you wonder why people struggle with fucking trading. Because you're taking full losses when you don't need to. Or your stop is too tight and you ended up trying to finesse that and you were wrong and took a full loss in a couple minutes. That was a goober mistake. Goober mistake. When you're wrong, it's okay to be wrong, just don't stay wrong. You know, there's a method to the madness, man. There's a method to the madness. All right, they got all kind of shit on here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They got animals. Hold on. Okay, so you have an alpaca and a longhorn. Where's the bull and where's the bear, bruh? Well, it's bear, I get that. But, like, where's the bull, bro? They don't have a bull on here. Man, fuck Build-A-Bear. That's crazy. Hey, you got bears but no bulls, bro. I mean, to be fair, this is probably like, it's probably for kids anyway, so I get that, but like, come on. All right, I'm just gonna have to search it because they got too much shit on here. All right, they don't have the camo one anymore. That's crazy. They only have this price, $50 fucking for this shit. Yeah, that looks like doo-doo. All right, let me go back to Google. So they must have discontinued the camo one. Dude, that's racist. Is Build-A-Bear racist? Dude. It's time to cancel Build-A-Bear. It's time to cancel them. Because all the ones on Google are like used. What has this world become, man? It was years ago when I ordered this other one, and I don't remember how I did it. Andreas, yeah. Fucking rip, bro. Rip. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, lows. Look at that. 41.93 are some lows for the S&P. Mm. Mm. All right. So here's something. Here is something. Dow trades higher at 115. NASDAQ lower. So if NASDAQ manipulated this low, we have some highs up here. We may end up wanting to reach for that. Possibly. I don't think that's enough for me to take a trade, though, to be fair. I don't think that's enough. Little 20 level right there. 213,820. It like scoops that. But just like I mentioned last week, remember how we looked at the indices to see if one of them might drag down the others? So it would be hard to make a case for longing S&P when there's lows right here. The Dow ended up trading higher here. So I don't know, man. It's fucking mixed. And I have not eaten yet today. So I may order tacos here in just a minute. I might have to do it. All right. Etsy doesn't have them. They don't have the bucket hats for Build-A-Bears. Dude, this is some bullshit, man. This is some bullshit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait just a second. Hold on. Centimeters. I don't have fucking. All right, never mind. I got hyped for no reason. So anyway, on a more serious note, though, I can see the case for the Nasdaq running these highs, but at the same time, we have lows on the S&P, so that now makes the case either way, and that to me is low probability. But you know what? eBay might have what I'm looking for. Animal camo hat. Okay, let me put that into the search bar. Let's find out. So the Build-A-Bear has a camo hat. It's just not a camo bucket hat. Excuse me. But that's not the same. But I guess that's the best we could do. It's like a baseball cap, but camouflage for the bear. So like it's not exactly the or boonie hat, I guess you could say. Oh, maybe let me try that. Yeah, it doesn't look that way. Yep. So no boonie hat, only the bucket hats for the bear. That's fucked. But I could probably put something together. Like custom shirt, probably regular pants. And then we could have, you know, we could have a bear. I mean, that shit's like $100 though, just so you know. It's like $100 stuffed animal. Just so you know. That gap here is also seen on the 15-minute. See how we're running away from that? So that would likely put us below. That would put us probably in the 90s and the 80s for the S&P. What do you guys think? What do you think? Oh, man. Excuse me. Oh, Naruto, I was just saying that there's a gap up here, which I was busy bullshitting, I'll be honest. But there's this gap right here that was seen on a 15-minute. We respected that. It's seen on a 5-minute. We respected that. And I was just looking at a 1-minute to see if there was something worth shorting. That's all. Down to the lows. Probably the high 80s. Because I don't think we would just run these lows. I think it might as well run that one. And if it runs deeper, that puts us right in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when I was born. So that's what I was just asking, like, what did you think? Or what do you think, rather? Did I pay for real-time data? Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you open a brokerage account with a futures broker, they will give you live data because they won't let you trade delayed data. But I think for futures live data, I think it's like $4 or $5 a month on TradingView. It's pretty cheap. But yeah, to get live data, it's got to be, you got to pay for it or have a broker who does offer that. Know what I'm saying? This is kind of tight though. I'd be watching that imbalance, and it definitely skews a risk reward, but there's a small imbalance right there. So we'll see. But it is, like I said, that's tight. Hmm. Any other questions you guys have? Ooh, the Nasdaq gave that right back up again. Dow's not doing too much. And the S&P's right there in that imbalance too. The micros have that same gap as well. You know, I think that gap would have a lot more significance if it came off of something that actually ran liquidity. Because, like, we came down to create lows and we came up to like this gap, and it is showing a nice reaction. But I'm saying this run lower would have been much better if we ran like a short-term high first. That would be more convincing of a short, in my opinion. So yeah, this is definitely a little mixed today, and it is hard to read price today. That's what I'm reviewing to do for the weekend. Oh yeah. Down the 1 minute, took a long at the retracement, got a 1-to-1, so I put my stop. A break even. Oh, nice, Miguel. Nice. So it's hitting this up candle here. And we'll see if that holds, but I do think it's going to sell off, but again, I would be much more comfortable if we ran price first. It is a very hard day to read price, I'll be honest. EFC. Difficult, man. Fuck. We have 20 minutes until the final hour as well. Oh, Jesus. Hmm. 1040 and 1134. Huh. The triple Qs, those highs on Nasdaq are actually equal highs on the triple Qs. And that's one thing slightly different about today too. So those lows I showed you on Nasdaq were actually equal lows on the triple Qs. So that is also interesting. Anyway, I'm going to take this imbalance off. It's like spending time here though at this up candle. And I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what is going to take place here. Oh my goodness. Let me look at the euro. We haven't looked at that in a while. Yep. The euro came right down to those equal lows right there at 108.09. But yeah, this late in the day, I doubt we're going to get 108.50. Yeah, what an interesting afternoon. "15 minutes until the final hour." Almost done with breakfast. I actually tried this for the first time today. It's a C4 Arctic snow cone. 0 sugar. Not paid sponsorship. But it's pretty good. Have you tried any of the Ghost energy drinks? I think maybe one, but I think it depends on a day of sugar or not. Because if they're sugar free, I'll try them. But if they have sugar, then I probably won't. Oh. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So those are equal lows on micros, but that's actually slightly lower on E mini. This low here, 115. Yeah, that low right here on at 115 is actually slightly lower on ES. That's what was fucking throwing me off for a minute, because I'm looking at micro on this side, I'm looking at E mini over here, and I'm trying to figure out what's different, and that's what it is. And I know I went over that yesterday, like Price doing that shit, like I don't know who to trust. Which one do I believe? Micro or E mini? We got the final hour in 10 minutes. So, all right. So I think we're going to get volatility today. I could be wrong, but someone said, or one of the streamers earlier said that today is a monthly expiration for options. So we're on a Friday. If there's monthly expiration, and I don't think there's, I haven't checked if it was contract rollover, but I don't think so. But with that combination and then areas of liquidity here, we might probably get something to pop off here in the last hour. It's just hard to tell. Is S&P going to come down for the lows, or is Nasdaq going to rally up for the highs? Oh, that looks fucking terrible. You watch E-mini on this side and then Nasdaq on this side. So yeah, we'll give it a few minutes and then we'll take a look. It's also forming a huge kind of flag as well, because we had a huge down movement and now we have almost higher highs on the body and lower highs here. So it's almost forming like this big flag right here. All right, I'm going to switch this back to 1. So NASDAQ on a 5-minute, if this breaks structure to the upside, because look, if you look at the triple Qs, okay, those are equal lows, these are equal highs. So we have came down below this low twice. So if liquidity has been taken here, if this breaks structure to the upside, then I think it may retrace and then rally for these highs. Does that make sense? So that in the final hour would set the triple, even though it's slightly different, like these aren't equal lows, but still like that's a lunch low here in the afternoon that it swept. So what I'm saying is the break of structure, like if we can get above that high aggressively, then that that may be what sends us higher. Does that make sense? Did I ever go into depth or make a video about options and how to use them? I mean, I kind of did. I'm not the greatest person to learn options from, though. It's hard to explain, like delta and time decay, theta, and then exponential time decay and premiums and all that, selling calls, selling puts, buying calls, buying puts, and all that bullshit. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. But I only do usually only call options, like long-term call options, and that's it. Okay. Ria pizza, one of my favorite things to eat. About to go grab one to start the weekend. Dude, pizza sounds really good. Pizza sounds really fucking good. It definitely does. All right. So I guess if we had to buckle down and pick something to watch, I think it's going to be the NASDAQ. I think it's going to be the NASDAQ. I just want to see the numbers here. Holy shit. So there's a fucking ant on my screen. What the fuck? Well, how he got there? All right, to be fair, I have a drink next to me. So I think I know why the ant is here. But I can't have ants walking on my fucking screen when I'm trying to watch price. You know what I mean? That's a no-go. So S&P is broke structure. Dow is broken structure. The NASDAQ has not followed suit yet. If it's going to, it needs to do that pretty soon. Pretty soon, if it's going to. Oh, I don't even have the final hour up here for you guys. What's wrong with me? Timing is important, man. You gotta have that up there. I mean, it closed above that high on that last candle. NASDAQ fairly weak today as well, at least in the numbers. All right. What do y'all think? Y'all think we're going to get some volatility this last hour, or do you think we're just going to bullshit around? You guys think we're going to bullshit around? Andreas thinks we're going to bullshit around. That could be. Could be the case. The NASDAQ has been ugly all day, so at least let's see if we can be clean. Let's see if we can be clean the final hour. Let's see. I can see price ready for those highs, but bullshit is always on the table. Yeah. It's always on the table. But yeah, I don't really like how we made our low of the day on Dow. I think it was kind of a sloppy low. So again, we are in the final hour for Friday. NASDAQ's been okay, rather sloppy today. And it has traded higher a little bit past this most recent high. And if that is a stop run, then it really shouldn't trade back into the 13,820 level. Like, if that's a stop run, if it's going to run for the highs, then it shouldn't trade back to 1820. And it would also run against anyone who's been short all day. Because it's been 830 is here. So like this is our current exchange, stock exchange today. Ooh, that doesn't look good. So the predominant factor has been bearish. You see what I'm saying? It could, but I mean, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, equal highs. And this lower high is the only one that's been met on the upside. So we will watch it and see. So I think we're gonna bullshit around. Well, let's see. I'm gonna watch the micros at the same time though too. 115, 115. Mitigation on the 1 minute. Oh, right there. Could be. But it's only a lower low here instead of a lower low right there. And you'd have to probably put those candles together. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. Are the micros and minis the same in terms of where they get their data? Why can they be different sometimes? They're different. Well, they're technically different instruments. Micro is 1/10 of E-mini. So like the S&P E-mini is $50 a point and micro is $5 a point. Okay. But there is some disparities in price sometimes. And that's because me personally, I just think it's because they're different instruments and, you know, orders on one doesn't mean there's going to be orders on another. So let's lighten this up a little bit too. It's just a little distracting for me personally. There's a good gap right there. A little small gap. Look at that 15-minute though. Opened, came down, it's back up. Let's see something. See if we can get that gap. Fuck, that is hard to see. You really got to warp the chart, man. That's why I like TradingView more than any other platform. This is where music is helpful too, just so you know. Just chilling, vibing right now. Let's put an alert up here too. If you want to go as far as putting an alert at the 80 level, that would be probably advantageous. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Oh, there's the gap right there. S&P a little reluctant to rally. Dow looks like fucking ridiculousness. It looks like the Nasdaq's the only one who's kind of rallying here. If you look at the S&P, barely. Dow Jones, ugh. Like, I honestly want you guys to look at this chart on the Dow. I want you to look at this, and I want you to tell me if this is good, if this is clean, or if this is dirty. What is this bullshit, bro? What is that? So we got 40 minutes left in the day, 40 minutes left. And then we're going to have a big old blessed weekend. Know what I'm saying? So if we're bullish, we need to push past. Oh shit. If we're bullish, we need to push past that gap. So I mean, it's a nice clean candle above, but we need to, that gap we need to be pushed through. And right now it's seeing a little bit of reluctancy. But yeah, whoever was that, Andreas, who looked at this as a mitigation, that'd have been a pretty good entry for long. But on a 5-minute, if it's going to get here in the last hour, it needs to push past this gap. I mean, I know that's obvious to say, well, yeah, no shit, John. If it's going to hit 880, it's got to go past 855. Yes, but I'm saying this is what I'm watching right now. Is we hit the gap, we've traded off of it a little bit. You know, is that going to be a factor? You know, is price going to sell off from here? That's a possibility. I would feel pretty good though if we were in from that mitigation there. You know? But we'll have to see what we do. Because I'm watching the other indices and they're not, like, they're just giving it back. Dow's not even rallying. So if the other two indices are dragging it, then it's a possibility that this could be dragged down with it. Know what I'm saying? So it's in this down candle here. Let's see what we do. But yeah, that gap right there, price immediately gave that back. So we'll keep watching it. Yeah, the Dow Jones looks so just gross. Dirty 30 for a reason? Yeah. Let's see the 1 minute real quick. I mean, not that I would try to overmanage this trade idea, but it is in a 1 minute imbalance there. So we did push higher, but that gap sent us back down. So if we're going to be repriced higher, then we need to do that soon. If not, then I guess we would continue lower. But it looks like it was a little slow. It was fast rally here, but now it's giving it back up, you know, in one candle. You know what? Let's watch on a 1 minute. We can do that. Because now I think we have equal highs on S&P 1 minute. We're just creating equal highs and equal lows all over the place today. I'm going to take this off though. So if we make a new high and get back above this 5 minute gap, I'd be a lot more confident in these highs being taken. $35, almost maybe 36 minutes left in the day. Oh, that 5 minute candle closed. Interestingly, that most recent 5 minute candle. It came back into that old imbalance. So this is our last 5 minute candle of the current 30 minute candle. So that means right at 2:30, we will start a new 30-minute candle, and that'll be the last 30 minutes of the day for the stock exchange, not of the day, but of the stock exchange at least. So what we're going to do is keep it on NASDAQ. We're going to keep it on this, and we're going to watch this shit. Now, if we get 13,880, I don't know what emojis we have. What do we got? You guys got to drop some gems if we get 3880 or 13,880. If not, no gems today. All right, that's the deal. That is the deal. Let me clean this up just a little bit. All right. Oh, that's a big red candle there on the S&P 5-minute. Trading back into that recent down candle from 145 Central. Hmm. So it's back in that 5-minute imbalance from earlier, and there's only 30 minutes left in the day. So if we get 13,880, I mean, it's gonna have to be volatile the last 30 minutes. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just gave up that high and gave up that gap so easily because we've been red since that gap. She was like a trampoline on the ceiling. Like we ran to it and then immediately traded off of it. Ooh. All right, so here's your last 30 minutes of the day. Oh, I didn't see that earlier. And the euro pretty much gave all of that Powell speech back. Not all of it, but we ran from 107.86 up to 108.28. Now we're back down to the 108 level. So it gave back like two-thirds of that move. And British pound basically gave like 75% of that move back. Oof. That's not quite a lower low, but that would be not good. if you were long from this from earlier, I think one of you mentioned that that was a possible mitigation. Now that it's back there again, ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I usually don't like when price comes back to, you know, like a level that was responsive. I don't like when price comes back to it, especially when there's less and less time for today. But that's still that 5-minute imbalance from 150 central. Oh, you know what? We can take this off as well. We got an initial reaction. Couldn't make a new high. Traded through it. So I'm going to take that off. I'm also going to take this mitigation off too. Because now we have lows here. See that? I wouldn't want to be long so close to the market when there's lows here. You know what I mean? Like if our entry was here and then it's back there, like I wouldn't care for that. Yeah, and the Dow is really not rallied like at all. Sitting so close to my desk here. All right, that's a little bit more comfortable. You're just watching it as well, still training my eyes for the mitigations. Yeah, I understand. Well, I mean, that's why I said like it could be. I mean, the formation is there. I mean, low, high, lower, low. It swept the previous low and then it traded through this high with conviction. Yeah, but like the higher time frame, the better. So, like, if it was me, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, probably something like this. Not for today, obviously, but like, see how it's a larger time frame like that. I would probably go with, but because the smaller time frame you go, if it's not aligned with higher time frame, it may not be. So it's hard to decipher that, you know. If anything, what I was telling you about is the 5-minute imbalance. That's what I was saying. That we're back inside of this. Right? So we went in there initially, rallied to the gap. We came back into it. I don't like that. And now we're running away from it. So we have 22, maybe 21, 22 minutes left. So we have this candle and 4 more. And then we'll be done for the day. So again, if we can get above this gap, then we may get sent there. But yeah, so that mitigation, quote unquote, that you're looking for here, to me, that was like the lower end of the imbalance. So, you know, confluence, if you will. So that's kind of what I'm saying. That 1 minute mitigation potential was inside a 5-minute time frame, and then on top of that, we're looking for potential higher pricing because of the 5-minute equal highs. And we believe possibly that the low's been set because we ran previous lows. And I think I explained that on the triple Qs. Right? That's what we talked about. It breaking structure, then retracement, then being sent higher. And look what we've gotten so far. A breaking structure, a retracement, and it may be sent higher. So I'm going to keep that drawing there just in case, but you know, just in case, you know, maybe, but we'll see. So if we were journaling, I didn't journal this. Shit, I can't find it. All right. If we were to journal this, then that's what I would have outlined. Triple Qs taking lows with open equal highs heading into the last hour. 5-minute imbalance. Stop at the low because we believe it's manipulation. High probability target. It's at the right time with the right context. Now it just comes down to trade management, which hopefully I've been teaching you a little bit more about by watching live price. Well, it should turn here, or it shouldn't spend too much time here, or hey, if it's going to run that, we got to push past this gap first. Okay? So now, why do you think that this would be worth mentioning here? Because if you were long in here, this is a new high and a gap, but price could have easily been sent lower. So if you took a partial here, you know, you at least got a little bit of something before the day is over. Because this doesn't have to run up there. This could easily come back lower. It could say, yeah, we're just going to bullshit and come back down and take the lows. But if you bought low and then sold high, well, that's a win. That's a dub. Even on a partial position. Okay. So we're revisiting this gap. You see how price is a little bit sensitive here? Look at it. Don't take my word for it. Look at it. That gap here, and it's even been sensitive the last couple candles. Take partial at a new high. Yeah. Well, that's one of the smart money trading rules that I have for myself. When the market gives, I want to take. So yeah, that's not the, biggest move in the world, but a partial is better than getting nothing at all. So now we have this candle and then 3 more for the stock exchange. That'll be it. We were coming up on the last 15 minutes. And it hasn't really went higher with any significance yet. So price right now is stuck between the imbalance down here and that gap right here. It hasn't pushed past either one. Hasn't pushed past the imbalance. Hasn't pushed past the gap. So it could not do anything the rest of the day. But I think if it finally pushes past this gap, that would give us probably the freedom to run to 880. Okay? So now we're past the gap. So now I believe, I could be wrong, but the price delivery mechanism, whatever, may end up repricing higher and higher. But we got to watch the time as well. We got to watch the time as well. And price did make a new high there. So if we got in on that second one, or if we were still in from the first time, that new high is a partial, this new high, potentially a partial as well. Again, I know it's not a lot of movement. It's not anywhere near a 1 to 3, but look, partialing out means paying yourself. It means taking when the market gives. It's not always hold the full position because it still might not get there. So we're coming up on this current 15-minute candle close. And then we'll be in our last 15-minute candle of the day. And the last 3 5-minute candles of the day. But again, if it was up to me, if we close above this gap, I would want to see a speed run to 880. Or I'm just wrong and we come down and consolidate. But if it was, again, if I had the will, if I had the control over price, that's what I would do. I would say, you guys look for shorts all week, even though it's been rallying, and then you finally got a down day, but if you held on too long, I'm going to rip your face off by running it higher. One more time before the weekend, just to, stick the middle finger into the faces of anyone who's been trying to short. But that's just a theory. It's just, logic. It's not guaranteed to happen. So we're in the last 15 minutes now. And let's just double check the Dow real quick. Nothing. Nothing. No new highs. Nothing. S&P, those equal highs I told you about, we're right here. We're right there. Now, I wasn't trying to long that. I was just trying to get you to note that we had equal highs on the S&P. So it came down don't even know what it fucking came down for. Down candle, short-term low. That's a small trade though. I mean, that's... And the E-mini hasn't even taken that. The E-mini hasn't even taken that. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy if you think about it. But anyways, we have this current candle, which has given back the last 5-minute candle. There's only going to be this one and then 2 more, and that's a wrap. So, may not get there. May not get there. Man, after this, I'm probably going to go outside, get some fresh air. I might order some tacos as well. Well, hopefully they're open. Every once in a while, they're not open, and I go, what the fuck, man? I go, dude, I need some tacos. Oh, Jesus. Look at that 1 minute. Did you see that? Like, as soon as that last candle opened, it fucking sank. Did you see that? Did you see how as soon as that 50 opened, it sank? That was kind of fast, bro. What the fuck? E-mini just left highs at 4206, so that might be important for later. Not today, but if that's left open, that's gonna come in handy probably later. Next week. All right, 2 candles left. This candle and the next one, so we'll see what we do. But I'm losing faith in the 880 level. It's fucking up there, man. But we are creeping. Not creeping, but we are slowly trading higher. Slowly but surely. You know what? You know what? I might call Jerome again. I might call Mr. Powell. I may have to call him. Be like, hey, bro, I know you spoke earlier, but I need you to talk to Mr. Smith. Tell him to reprice this shit so I can be right on YouTube. So I can be right on YouTube. Let's take this blue line off here because we don't need that. We were just looking at that high. We don't need that anymore. I mean, at least in my opinion. All right. 2 minutes left in this candle, then one more candle, and that's a wrap. I mean, it's giving a little volatility, but it's not like continuing in that direction. They kind of like spiked lower first, then we spiked higher. You know, I would have wanted to, if I could copy and paste, I would have replicated that. Those 2 or 3 candles here, I would have replicated here. And just ripped the face off of bears today. All right. It's looking like a bold candle. It looks bold. Let's see. Well, we didn't bullshit around yet. We still got 5 minutes. We still got one more candle left. We still got one more candle left. We got one more. One more candle. Can we do it? Watch us print a fucking big ass down candle. Watch that. Watch us want to go higher and it just dumps. All right, well, no matter what happens, there's only a few minutes left in the day. You know what? We're gonna take this off for just a minute so we can watch price. You got the countdown timer on there too, under the price level. So it says 4 minutes and 3 seconds or whatever. But anyways, what do you guys have planned for the rest of the day? I know I'm probably gonna eat. What are you guys gonna do? What's that one song that goes never say never? Oh, I don't even know. Sounds like Justin Bieber. So I have no idea. So we tapped into that gap. You see that? Did you see what we did there? We came down and gave a little kiss to that fucking gap right there. Interesting. Alex said going to sleep. Damn, going to sleep. I could probably go for a nap. Right after I finish this energy drink. Sounds wild, don't it? Berea Pizza. If my taco place isn't open, I'll probably go to Torchy's up the street. Oh, no, I mean, yeah, it's like 5 minutes away. Boardwalk. Go watch like the sunset later or some shit. All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's see. Let's see what we do. It's 22 here in Italy. What is that, 10 p.m.? Some food, a bump, gravity bong rip, maybe a beer and chill with the lady. That sounds good. That sounds like a fun time. 10 p.m. in Italy. Dude, I gotta visit Italy, man. I need some authentic lasagna and gabagool and all the other shit. I need some authentic Italian food in my life. All right, only a minute and 20 seconds left. It doesn't look like we're gonna get it. If I was long from down in that imbalance though, I'd probably close out here. Maybe like the last 30 seconds or so. You know what? I wonder, now we're in the last minute. I wonder if there's any earnings today, like after hours. Gelato is a game changer in Italia. I don't know. Well, doesn't look like we're gonna get 13,880. So probably no gems in the chat. That's a bummer. But I mean, at least we got a reaction. So this inbound again, I don't like when it comes in twice, but it made a new high there. It made a new high here. So there was at least one or two opportunities to take something out. But now it's 3 and that's a wrap for the stock exchange. I think it could still fly if there's earnings. But I usually don't hold into the post market, especially on a Friday. I usually don't. But I think part of that was the S&P. Oh, it finally ran the highs. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I didn't say anything. And that would have been a really shitty trade. But look what it did on this 5-minute candle. Look what it did. It opened, traded down into this imbalance, and then ran the highs. Look at that. So at 250, in the last 10 minutes, I mean, that's a super scalp. And I would have not recommended that at all. But look what it did, though. Dropped down into the imbalance and then ran for the highs. That's interesting. And that looks almost like a mitigation, but it looks like shit, though. It's a very small time frame. All right. Well, at least we were able to see something. NASDAQ was dirty. I mean, at least we were able to frame something that actually went the way we wanted it to go. It just didn't hit our target. So that'll be it for today. I mean, if you guys want to leave that alert at 13,876 or 880. I didn't check. I don't think there's anyone who is after hours today, but I could always be wrong. Yeah, so that's a wrap for today. And we've been here like 3 hours, so it's time to get up, stretch, go outside, and or go to bed or whatever it is that you guys do. So again, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you had some fun. That's going to be it for this week. I will see you on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. So have a good weekend. We'll see you then.